and Neville Longbottom, alternate universe. Year 1. The boy who lived in shadows. Neville. Longbottom wasn't anyone's idea of a hero. The boy who lived looked more like the boy who tripped, wand sparking at the wrong times, voice shaking when teachers called on him. Even his Gran Augusta muttered about how he wasn't living up to the prophecy. But fate had picked him, not Harry Potter. Train ride on the Hogwarts Express. Neville was already spiraling. Trevor had vanished again. He tore through compartments calling, "Trevor! Trevor!" His round face flushed as older kids snickered. A blonde boy leaned against the door, smirking. "You're him, aren't you?" The boy who lived. Neville nodded, embarrassed. The boy frowned. "Honestly, you don't look it. Thought you'd be taller, scarier." "I'm just Neville," he mumbled. "Malfoy," the boy introduced himself, then added slyly, "Stick with me and maybe you'll survive Hogwarts." Before Neville could answer, Harry Potter swaggered past, eyes narrowing. "So, this is the famous Longbottom. Doesn't look like much, does he? Figures the Dark Lord botched the job." Neville froze. Draco stepped forward smoothly. "Funny, Potter. I heard you botched the job of being important." Harry's glare burned holes in both of them. That was the first spark of rivalry. Follow, like, and share this story if you like to see more adventures. Sorting Hat Drama. The Great Hall blazed with candles as the sorting hat dropped onto Neville's head. "Oh, interesting. Courage, yes, but tangled with fear. You doubt yourself, but you crave proof, power, influence. Slytherin fits you better than you think," Neville whispered. "But people expect Gryffindor. And they'd expect wrong. Slytherin will shape you into what you're meant to be, not what they want you to be." The hat didn't wait for more protests. "Slytherin!" gasps echoed. Harry laughed loudest of all, muttering, "Knew it." Neville's steps to the Slytherin table felt heavier than lead, but Draco slid over, grinning. "Knew you had bite. Welcome to the right side." That was the moment everything shifted. Draco saw Neville not as a fraud, but as someone worth following. Hogwarts chaos expanded. Life in Slytherin wasn't easy. The house's reputation for ambition and cunning meant Neville was immediately under a microscope. Older students whispered that he didn't belong. Some sneered openly. The boy who lived, more like the boy who trips Draco, though, was quick to shut it down. "Say that again and you'll eat slugs before dinner." He'd snap, wand half raised. His defense surprised Neville. He'd expected Malfoy arrogance, not loyalty. Classes were a mixed bag. In potions, Neville was hopeless, nearly melting his cauldron twice in the first month. Snape sneered, but Draco whispered instructions from across the bench, covering for him. "Stir clockwise, not counter. Don't worry, I've got you." In herbology. Neville shone unexpectedly. His clumsy hands were steady with plants, his patience perfect for coaxing growth. Even Professor Sprout murmured, "Ah, you've got a touch for this." Draco rolled his eyes. Plants weren't glamorous, but he couldn't deny Neville's gift. Defense against the dark arts was another story. Quirrell's stammer and constant nervousness made everyone underestimate him. Neville, though, got a strange prickle in his scar whenever the man passed too close. And then there was Harry. He seemed to have made it his personal mission to humiliate Neville. Hexes tripped him in corridors, whispered taunts followed him at meals. Guess the boy who lived can't even keep track of his pet frog. Harry sneered one morning after Trevor vanished again. Neville flushed, but Draco fired back. "Better a frog than a hanger-on, Potter. You're just bitter you weren't chosen." Neville found a strange strength in these moments. Draco's confidence gave him courage. For the first time in his life, he wasn't entirely alone. Luna Lovegood drifted into their orbit too. She'd pop up in the library or the Great Hall, saying things no one else understood. Once she stared right at Trevor and murmured, "He's not just a toad. He slips between places. He knows things you don't." Neville and Draco exchanged looks, but said nothing. Somehow Luna's odd words stuck in Neville's mind long after. Trevor's vanishings became a running joke in the common room, but Neville noticed something no one else did. Every time Trevor disappeared, something significant followed. A chance discovery, a brush with danger, or a strange surge in Neville's own magic. Hogwarts was chaos, yes, but for Neville, the chaos started to feel less like random clumsiness and more like destiny pressing closer. Dungeon Showdown. Quirrell's secret rumors swirled all year about something hidden deep under the castle. One night, chasing Trevor into the dungeons, Neville stumbled onto it. Quirrell, kneeling before an eerie black altar, whispering to the shadows. "Who's there?" Quirrell's voice cracked, then deepened with another presence. Neville's breath caught. "You're serving him." Quirrell smiled, cruel and shaking. "You survived his curse once." "You won't again." Neville turned to run, but Draco had followed. "You're not doing this alone!" Draco hissed, grabbing Neville's arm. Quirrell lunged. Neville, panicked, tried to raise his wand, but it slipped from his sweaty grip and clattered to the stone floor. Quirrell's hands closed around him. Then the screaming began. Quirrell's skin blistered where it touched Neville, smoke rising as if he'd grabbed molten iron. His grip broke instantly, but Neville staggered forward, shoving him away. The more Quirrell tried to hold on, the more his body cracked and burned, until he collapsed entirely, leaving only the echo of Voldemort's shadow screaming as it fled. Draco's voice shook. "Neville, you didn't even use your wand." Neville stood trembling, staring at his hands. He wasn't sure if he was terrified of Quirrell or of himself. Year-end wrap. Neville finished the year still doubting himself, still losing Trevor, still stumbling over his robes. But now he had Draco at his side, Luna watching with cryptic smiles, and a school full of whispers about the boy who wasn't as hopeless as he looked. And Harry? His jealousy burned hotter. The Chosen One's spotlight had been stolen, and he wanted it back. Follow for more adventures of Neville Longbottom Alternate Universe, Year 2.